kielbasa and sauerkraut, but we're gonna make it vegan. It's something that I used to have every New Year's Day, and I haven't had it for about 20 years. So to make our sauerkraut, all we're gonna do is just peel off the outside layer of your cabbage, and then we're going to chop the cabbage in half, remove the inner stem, the inner core, and then slice the cabbage into long, thin slices. Now I've already zeroed out my bowl, so we have 583 grams of cabbage here. So we need to use 2% salt. So we need to add 11.6 grams of kosher salt. And then once we have that there, then all we have to do is just mix the salt into the cabbage and really, really knead it in. Make sure the salt, everything's nice and covered. I'm gonna pack a mason jar up. We want some room because we need some liquid to be remaining, so that way the cabbage can sit under the liquid and ferment. So I'm just using a small little rolling pin that I have to kind of press the cabbage down pretty packed, as firm as I can get it. And now you don't have to do this. I have these little burping things. These are great because I can screw this on, set this aside, and just forget about it, which is what I'm gonna do for about a week. If you don't have these, you're just gonna wanna make sure that your jar is screwed on kinda loose, and that every day or so you come by and just open it for a second and then close it for a second. You just wanna let the gases to allow it to release. It has been a week and this has came out absolutely wonderful. So let's go ahead, let's get started. Let's move on to our kielbasa. So first, let's get our Beyond Beef in a food processor. Along with our sausage, we're not gonna throw the skin in. Make sure we cut the skin off. We just want the interior of the sausage in the food processor. So the first thing that we wanna do is just pulse these together really quick, give them like a nice long pulse, make sure they're mixed in. Now, all I'm going to do is we're gonna start by adding in some garlic, marjoram. I'm just gonna add some liquid smoke. I'm gonna do about 2 teaspoons of liquid smoke. This stuff's already high in sodium, but we are gonna add just an extra pinch of kosher salt and some black pepper. Now I'm just gonna give it a touch of cold water, and then lastly, our trick, our main ingredient, kappa carrageenan. So now at this time, we're not gonna pulse. We are gonna mix this on high for about a minute. We wanna make sure that this is all nice and well combined and that the texture is very smooth. Okay, this is blended together. I mean, it looks phenomenal. It's nice and smooth. There's still some texture to it. We don't want it to be completely smooth, but now we're just going to put this in a skin. So to do that, all we're gonna do is just wet our rice paper sheet. Just gonna make sure that it gets damp on both sides, and then I'm just gonna set it here on my table and then just let it get soft. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm going to make a pretty large sausage. We're making kielbasa. This is Polish sausage. We're not looking for little sausages. Now we just need to wrap these up and then repeat. Okay, these look amazing. I mean, they really did come out. They have a nice texture. It's exactly what I was looking for. Wow. And it has a kielbasa taste. So I'm gonna finish cooking these guys up. Then all we're gonna do is just let these cool down just a little bit. We're gonna wrap them up and throw them in the fridge overnight. Okay, so it's the next day. I waited a little bit longer in the day than what I wanted to, but we're gonna get started. We'll have this done by dinner. So I'm going to slice my sausages into, you know, kind of like usable pieces inside the mix. You know, we don't want anything like huge, but we don't want any pieces too small that are gonna like break up. So once we have that chopped up, we're then gonna quarter our apple, and then I'm gonna take those quarters and go into eighths. Now at this point, we have everything ready to kind of roll. All we're gonna do, I have a Dutch oven on the stove. We're gonna throw that like on a low heat. I'm gonna melt some vegan butter, probably about a tablespoon or so. We're gonna empty the entire jar of sauerkraut. I believe this is about 24, 26 ounces, something like that. This should be enough. Now, there's not a whole lot of water left in our sauerkraut. I'm gonna add probably about a half of a cup of water along with that. I'm gonna also add just a small, maybe a teaspoon of caraway seeds. And then we're gonna do about 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And then once that's all mixed in, just go ahead and top your sauerkraut with your kielbasa. Oh my gosh, that looks good. So we're just gonna put the lid on it. We're gonna put it on the lowest heat that your oven or stove goes to, and just let it sit for about 3 hours. I'll check on it every now and then just to see. And here it is, oh my gosh, sauerkraut and kielbasa.